to move on right now. So we're going to talk about more what you're going to be doing on the Roxy, and then you're going to be doing the Dinosaur Weekend. So we're going to be right back right after this. And don't forget, we are going to be taking calls soon, so don't go away. So that was you singing.
A little taste. That's me and RuPaul singing.
Okay.
I love RuPaul.
Oh, he's fabulous.
Still, yeah, the goddess. Anyway, I just think he sounds fantastic on this track, and I'm really grateful to him for jumping on board.
Cool. And you're going to be singing this next week too?
That's one of the things on our list, and
okay.
We've got an awful lot. We're probably going to have to lose something, but
okay. Yeah. So, why don't you introduce the next segment? It's right there.
All right. During 2006, almost 400 bills affecting the LGBT community were introduced in state legislatures, with 44 becoming law. A report was issued on this by the Human Rights Campaign Foundation, and here to talk about the report is Jenny Pizer, who will introduce Carrie Evans from HRC. Over to you, Jenny.
Well, it's always a challenge to follow beautiful music, including Lucy Lawless and RuPaul, to go to politics and law. A natural segue.
Yeah, I see it all together. Okay.
So, and I have the pleasure of introducing a guest who's with us by phone, Carrie Evans, who's the State Legislative Director of the Human Rights Campaign. Carrie, are you there?
I am.
Well, it's great to have you with us and to have you be here to tell us about an incredibly information-packed report that the Human Rights Campaign has just issued with some good news, some bad news, an awful lot of data. I'll start by urging people to go to your website of www.hrc.org to download it and read it. But I wonder if you could start us off by giving us a couple of the key highlights from it, a couple of good points, and then a couple of the points that we should be thinking seriously about.
Sure. Well, it was, like you said, a good and a bad year. I would like to start with the good. 2006, of course, saw the first voter rejection of a constitutional amendment in Arizona when 52% of the voters there rejected that amendment. So that was quite a milestone after having 27 votes on constitutional amendments to finally win one. Go Arizona.
And I have to say, and who would have thought that Arizona, of all places, would be the breakthrough state?
I know. It was interesting when the press started, in October or so, predicting, calling, who everyone was looking at Wisconsin and possibly some other states, and Arizona just sort of quietly plugged away and convinced the people of Arizona that this wasn't the right thing to do.
So what is that about? Is there a basic lesson there that other states should take, or do you think it was just a fluke?
No, they really, it was a very, very research-driven campaign. They did their polling and message polling very early on, and once they found out what messages resonated with Arizona voters, they, as Kirsten Sinema, the campaign manager, said, they ruthlessly were disciplined in sticking to that message and not veering from that. So it was different in that sense that it was very, very research-driven, and they, went to their highly populated areas and worked on getting the 51%.
Well, it was awfully exciting. And now, what would you say is some of the data in there that should have us a little bit either worried or planning differently for the future?
Well, I think in 2006, we really, all of us at the national level, really were bracing with our state partners for an onslaught of bad parenting bills, particularly bans on adoption and foster parenting. And we expected them to be in at least 4 or 5 states, and thankfully we only saw one of those bills actually materialize in Ohio, which was quickly stomped out by the House Speaker, who himself is adopted, and very, adamantly said this is not an issue that his chamber will be taking up anytime soon. But what was really disconcerting is I think we continue to see these sort of backdoor attacks on our rights as parents, particularly with restrictions or limitations on our access to assisted reproductive technologies. We saw a really bad bill pass in Utah that would have prohibited a co-parent from petitioning for custody or visitation rights. And thankfully, the Republican governor there, John Huntsman Jr., vetoed that bill. But I think we really have to be very vigilant about these sneaky kind of ways that they're coming at us on parenting. Like in Virginia, the assisted reproductive bill was, worded to affect all unmarried people, but we know, our community uses assisted reproduction maybe more so than different sex couples, and so it certainly would have impacted us much more